Welcome back, everyone, to Meditations by Gregory T. Obert, bringing you the best new guided meditations and mental health discussions every week. I'm your host, clinical psychologist Dr. Gregory T. Obert. Thank you so much for joining me today. And this week's episode is a continuation of the Therapy 101 series, where we are going to be talking about stigmas surrounding going to therapy. Something that has popped up quite a bit over the last couple weeks in my own personal life, and I thought it might be useful to talk about this topic for the masses as well. Give you my opinion on it. You can take it, you can leave it, but at least it'll be out there. So listen, if you enjoy what I do here, if you get benefit from the guided meditations, if you are really enjoying this Therapy 101 series, which has a ton of great information in it, I've had a variety of topics already, including why start therapy, what trauma is, what depression is, what anxiety is, how to manage life transitions, and I got a ton more topics in mind that I can talk about moving forward. So if you enjoy any of this, if you've gotten value out of any of this, please do two things. One, leave a 5-star rating and review because it really helps the show grow wherever you're listening to this. Wherever you're listening to this, it really helps. And two, please share the episode with anyone that you think would benefit from this, because there are a lot of people out there who have different views on therapy, and that's fine. I think sometimes those views maybe overshadow more nuanced takes. So then the average person is taking in this opinion that can be a little extreme or black and white in nature, and then they don't actually go get the help that they need. So I appreciate it in advance, but without any further ado, let's jump into our topic for today, which is stigmas, common stigmas associated with therapy. So have you ever wanted to attend therapy or even talk about therapy with somebody else in your life? I know for my generation, millennials, many of them are quite open about going to therapy, and previous generations are not as open about it. So depending on who you surround yourself with, depending on the generation you're in, you might be very comfortable talking about it. You might not be. You might, in fact, think that, if I talk about this, I might be looked at as weird or crazy. And you wouldn't be wrong for thinking that, because there are a lot of stigmas associated with therapy. Now, what do I mean by stigma? What I mean by stigma is this. I'm going off the dictionary definition, which is an association of disgrace or public disapproval with something, such as an action or condition. So in this case, doing therapy has a stigma. People disapprove of it. There could be some kind of disgrace associated with it. And this, of course, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, you may say, Greg, you're biased because obviously you've devoted your life to doing this work. And to that, I would say, yes, I am definitely biased. Still, is it really out of the realm of possibility that maybe some of the stigmas associated with therapy are a little undeserved? I hope that by the end of the episode today, you will have an idea as to what some of the most common stigmas are that are associated with therapy and why they kind of are a little goofy themselves. Why the stigmas themselves don't really make a ton of sense. And to prove how these can show up in people's lives, I'm going to give examples, personal examples, professional examples, to help you understand just how insidious these stigmas can be. Now, I'm not trying to say that all stigmas are bad. Of course, there are things that people can do in society that, aren't really great and they deserve to have a stigma associated with them. Case in point, if you have been following my dark psychology series, I have been doing that on Saturday mornings, usually around 9 or 10. I don't have a set time yet, but just testing it out to see if people like it. And we've been talking a lot about child predators. So if you're interested in learning about the psychology of child predators, head on over to my YouTube channel. Link is going to be in the description below, and you can check out past live streams. Stigma associated with such behaviors there, of course, completely, totally justifiable and justified. When it comes to therapy, I don't really think these hold a lot of water. So let's jump into it. The first stigma, and I'm going to have 6 for you in this episode. So the first of 6 that we're going to be going over. Therapy's really only for crazy people or people who are severely mentally ill. What goes into this? Well, of course, there's a lot of people that view therapy as kind of that last resort. You really have no other options. You've got some kind of serious condition, and it's sort of the lifeboat, as the Titanic is sinking, so to speak. You've exhausted all other options. There's nothing left. You must do therapy. It seems kind of extreme, right? That therapy is only a tool for severely mentally ill people. When in reality, while certainly therapy can help people who have serious mental illness, a lot of times that therapy is going to be quite basic in nature. So as an example, I have spent some time working with severely mentally ill people, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, personality disorders. And a lot of times, you're just doing basic skills, basic emotion regulation skills, basic skills around cognitive functioning. What is a thought? How do you catch it? Basic education around how we can change our own behaviors. So really, for the vast majority of people, therapy is going to be for those who can actually understand it and take that therapy in. But why does the stigma persist then? So partly, you have a lot of media portrayals, right? So it's often dramatized, and therapy is for these extreme scenarios. So think about any kind of movie that you've ever watched related to mental health. My favorite movie, probably my favorite movie of all time, certainly up there, top 10, Ordinary People. Fantastic movie. Donald Sutherland, Mary Tyler Moore, and I think Timothy Sutton, if I remember correctly. I think that's his name. If somehow he's listening to this, I'm sorry that I forgot your name. But it's a fantastic movie about life after a big family tragedy and how people adjust. Judd Hirsch plays the therapist. Everybody, just excellent performances all around. I believe when getting Oscars actually meant something, for good performances, I believe it got the Oscar. But anyways, there's a lot of drama around the portrayal there. I think that's probably one of the more realistic portrayals of what therapy can be, but even still, it's going to be dramatized. I also think about probably a more popular look into therapy is going to be Good Will Hunting. I know there have been so many memes around it, and it's spawned this whole thing, but it's still a good movie, and it's very dramatic in the therapy sessions. So of course, people who are maybe on the fence, or maybe they never even considered going to therapy, they might look at those portrayals and go, "Oh, that's not really for me. That's for someone who's really kind of bonkers, really not doing very well." But here's the problem with that. Therapy is meant to be a collaboration, a professional and also intimate collaboration with a professional who knows how to help people navigate difficult life situations. I say intimate, I know a lot of times that's used for sex, right? But that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm really talking about emotional deepness, closeness. It's sort of a strange relationship when you think about it. And that's why I find myself to be very privileged when it comes to my job, because I love hearing people's stories and I get to look into people's lives and help them navigate it. And they're not people that I'm going to be going to hang out with, going to the movies with, going to their birthday parties, that kind of thing. And vice versa. They're not going to be coming over to my house. So it's sort of this strange yet, I think, really cool relationship that forms, where in this relationship, I get to help people navigate basic human condition, the basic human condition, basic human situations that show up for everybody. Thinking about life transitions. Maybe somebody died. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe a relationship was gained and someone's freaking out. They think they're unworthy or they're not sure how to navigate it. Maybe stress from a job change. These sorts of situations that people find themselves in, they're normal. And sometimes they can be overwhelming. Even if we have a lot of support around us, sometimes that support isn't going to be the best thing for us, which I will get into with another stigma in a minute. So how do we debunk this point? Well, one of the best explanations I ever heard for why one should go to therapy in the first place, or why one could go to therapy in the first place, is that it's kind of like going to the gym for your mind. We don't go to the gym when we're in this terrible, awful, horrible health space. Certainly some people do. But in general, people go to the gym for prevention and to just feel good, to get their body in shape, to get stronger. And the same is true for therapy. It's like going to the gym for your mind. Now, the difference here with therapy is that you're not always going to need to go, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, however often you go to the gym. Maybe even if it's just once a week for the gym. You don't have to go to the gym for your mind indefinitely. Therapy is meant to be time limited. You have goals, you work towards those goals, and when you're done with the goals, you go on with your life. So, while therapy is like going to the gym for your brain, just know that it doesn't have to be something that you go to forever, for the rest of your life. And I think a lot of people think that. Well, if I go to therapy, I'm going to be in it for years and years and years and years. Maybe. Some people definitely need that. Not everybody does.